All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakah Kwadash. Double honors to our elders and our apostles of Great Millstone. Salutes to the sincere elect out there. Aria back at you with another lesson. So yeah, man, the man of lawlessness is being revealed. We're gonna get into some of this because all you gotta do is just when you look with your spiritual eye and you see what's happening over there in Babylon, over there in Iran, in Europe, parts of the world, Russia, Ukraine, right? The man of lawlessness is revealed. 2 Thessalonians 2 from the top says, Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, by our gathering together unto him, that ye be no soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter. Yeah, this is a letter that was written by Apostle Paul. At that time, it was in the time of the Romans when this letter was written. So it's a letter to encourage those in that congregation, right? By letter, as from us, as that the day of Amashiach is at hand, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Right? And also the things what we know is being revealed through the internet via the Nurum and the forum. All you got to do is just check out these sites now. There's a whole list of them. YouTube, TikTok, everybody's talking, their truth. And there is some truth because a lot of them may be watching our videos anyway. Our elders and our apostles, which the trailblazers, the pioneers, right, from our elders, from their elders, Elder High Priest Ariah, Elder High Priest Abba Bibbins, Elder High Priest Yaquab, right? This truth has been trailblazed, the foundation has been set, and you got a lot of people, so-called truthers, snipping videos and putting their 2 cents and getting their own clout, what they call them, podcasters, which and also you got these blue pillars and all that talking about relationships, which we know come from our elders and their elders on down. So just to say that, because the devil himself, devil incarnate, is being revealed, the man of perdition, right? When you get into it, what's happening in Ukraine with the war, the Russia, now they're talking about peace, with Benjamin Netanyahu and Trump linking up, talking about they need to be, discussing peace. So let's read on 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God. Yep. That's a typical Edomite, right? The soul that is lifted up in him is not upright in him. Habakkuk 2 and 4. And there's no other nation has exalted himself and put himself above God, right? Claiming himself to be God, right? According to the scriptures, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God. Yep. He's we say he's a narcissist, right? A narcissist. What's the other word? A narcissist. What's the other word? It slips to me, but it might come back to me, right? Because that's a narcissistic spirit to have. You put yourself higher than God. Megalomaniac. As a matter of fact, let's ask something from the Google. Narcissistic meaning: having or showing an excessive interest in or admiration of oneself and one's physical appearance. Narcissist meaning megalomaniac. Yeah, I think that might be a bit more closer to this devil. But that's on point. Tell you what, leave that there. That's on point. Get another tab here. Megalomaniac meaning is a egotist, that is someone with a psychological disorder with symptoms like delusions of grandeur. Right, yeah. When you look into the Nero 47, Trump, who's in power, that is exactly what did he do with he duplicated Rome, made a so-called copy or duplicate of Rome in the White House. So yeah, he represents Rome. He's back. He's making himself obvious. He's making himself obvious that he's for the Romans and he's a Roman. Nero 47 back again, right? Delusions of grandeur, right? He cocked that up as well. Everything he puts his hands to, he cocks. He dabbles in sport. He messes that up. He dabbles in war. He cocks it up. Gets involved. Puts his hands to building. He cocks that up to building. He's delusional. Delusions of grandeur and an obsession with power. Right, when the the presidents met up and he was behind one or two and he had to force his way through to make sure he's seen, his presence is known. So yeah, grandeur and obsession with power. He has an obsession with power. Right. We also use the word megalomaniac more informally for people who behave as if they are convinced of their absolute power and greatness. Obsessed with power. That a person who has an obsessive desire for power. That's what a megalomaniac is. Alright? So this sums up this devil. Let's get back to it. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. Who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he is God sitting in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Yeah. So they got their temples, where you got the Vatican over there in Spain, which is one of the unclean frogs, pursuing to Revelation, I believe it's 13 and 16. One of the unclean frogs over there. The Vatican, you got the which represents the temple, their temple, and you got the churches, the offshoots, the Catholic religion, the Muslim religion, all offshoots of that temple or the Catholic Church, false teaching, apostasies, offshoots of their temple. The hidden you got the hidden skull and bones. They're how you call it? They're sacred councils, the hidden councils. That's also being revealed. One of the main ones is skull and bones. You got a lot of them. You got the ones that are hidden in plain sight, right? The Vatican, that's one of them. Also, you also got one of the other two clean frogs, which is the banking system over here in London, the Bank of England, right? The corrupt banking system, which is pushed by the hidden hand, the Rothschilds and those infamous Rothschild family, right? So that's the corrupt banking system. You got the Pentagon over there in America. In Where's the Pentagon again? Washington D.C. Let me just fact check something here. I know it's Washington somewhere, but let me just. Where is the Pentagon? Arlington Country, Virginia, right? Just across the Potomac River, right? Arlington Country. So that's the third hidden or military unclean frog. Their unclean frog, the Pentagon. So you got the Vatican, you got the corrupt banking system over here in London, the Vatican over there in Spain, and then you got the Pentagon over there in America, Arlington Country, Virginia. So there's nothing more for me to say, really, truly, when you talk about this man, that let no man deceive you by any means, for that they shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Yeah, he's been revealed. So there's only one thing left for me to say, right? As we said, he exalted himself, right? He puts himself above God. He's a narcissist, a megalomaniac. He's obsessed with power. The title of this video, which leaves me nothing more left for me to say, is that the jig is up for this devil. The jig is up for this devil. Oh, you got the secret councils. You got the ones that are hidden in plain sight over here. In so you got the White House over there in America. Over here, you got the where is that? The Houses of Parliament. You know, where they do their they make their councils, their hidden councils. The Houses of Parliament, where they do so you got the Labour Party. The Labour Party. Let's go over this. The Labour Party and the other one. Over here in England, what's the two parties? Two parties are the MPs in the House of Parliament, the Labour Party and the Conservative. Just came back to me. So these are the you got the hidden councils, right? The Skull and Bones. These are the ones that are hidden in plain sight. Labour Party and the Conservative. Over there in America, you got the in the White House, you got the in America, the two parties in America. I've been over it for a little while. Let me go over it again. What are the two political parties in America? The Democrats and the Republicans. That's right. So the jig is up for these devil. Everything's exposed, right? Say no more. That's all I need to say. The jig is up. The phrase "the jig is up" means that a trick or secret plan has been found out. The key aspects of this expression include its definition, history, and uses in media. Right, there you have it, man. The jig is up for these devils. Nothing more to say. And then you got this Albert Pike, who came out in his own book, Morals and Dogma. Right, what did he say? Right, Albert Pike, in God, the God that we trust is Lucifer. Right, that's another one of the sacred councils, the Freemasonry, and you've got offshoots and you've got levels in Freemasonry, which I believe the highest is around 33. As a matter of fact, one more question. What's the highest level in Freemasonry? Going over the basics. Right, 33 degrees. These are the supplement honors for further study rather than a higher rank or membership, so they say. Right? Absolute highest degree in Freemasonry is the Master Mason. Master Mason, the third degree. Right, and you know you got to do all kind of things. You got masonries in the music business, right? And the jig is up for them too, right? Jay-Z, P. Diddler, right? The other one that just recently died, Clive Davis. I believe I got that right. Clive Davis, which was the mentor to the Diddler, which a lot of them are juiced in, right? A lot of our own people are juiced in. Martin Lucifer Coon, a lot of them were juiced in, right? When you get into that. But anyway, so many things, as what Yehoshua did say, when you get into the Gospels, the things you're going to start to see, we're seeing, right? The wars, the rumors of wars, nations rising up against nations, kingdoms against kingdoms, infighting, right? The war, the mighty men of war ceasing to fight. All of these things, which why we know we're at the end. There you have it, Akim. I just wanted to get in some of that. I've been meditating on that. Probably going to get into it a little bit more, via sit down, get into a little bit more details. But on the surface, the basics is yes, the man of lawlessness is now being exposed. He's being revealed. Too many things that you can get into. Right? All of his unclean frogs, his hidden councils, the wars, the rumors of wars, is all um, coming to pass. Prophecies coming to pass. There you have it, man. So the jig is up for these devils, right? The trick or secret plan has been found out. The jig is up. We're on to the next.